Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating, maybe even unexpected source. We're looking at William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica, which, for anyone maybe not familiar, is a pretty foundational text in homeopathy. It really meticulously lists the symptoms substances are thought to address. And the substance for today's deep dive, not some rare plant, but something, well, surprisingly common. Calcarea sulphurica. You probably know it better as sulfate of lime or even plaster of Paris. So our mission here is to unpack how this seemingly everyday material gets used in homeopathy. We want to uncover its really specific applications, particularly it seems around bodily discharges. So what insights can we actually get from such a detailed text about, well, plaster of Paris? What does it tell us about historical medical observation?
Was fascinating stuff. Boericke's Materia Medica goes into such fine detail. For Calcarea sulphurica, right away, it points to the strong link with suppurative processes.
So nutrition processes.
Yeah, basically conditions involving pus. Where it's forming or maybe has already drained, it often comes up after the pus has found a way out, a vent.
Okay, so that's a clear theme then. This real focus on a specific kind of discharge. Does Boericke explain why that's so important for Calcarea sulphurica, or how it's different from other remedies?
Absolutely. The key thing, the real hallmark for Calcarea sulphurica is the type of discharge. Yellow, thick, often kind of lumpy. This isn't just like a side note, it's presented as the defining feature that really sets it apart. And we see this characteristic pretty much across the board, from skin conditions to, well, deeper internal problems.
Right, so not just any discharge, it has to be yellow purulent. How does that consistency, that specific detail, show up in different parts of the body according to the text?
Oh, it's quite striking. This consistent picture-thick yellow discharge, it's not just in one place. You see it detailed for things like skin issues, scald head in children. That's like a scalp eczema with crusts. Then there are these really precise descriptions for eye infections, mentioning thick yellow matter, even serious conditions like ophthalmia neonatorum, that's severe eye inflammation in newborns.
Right.
And the same pattern shows up with ear discharges, and specifically yellowish purulent secretion from the nose, sometimes even with a bit of blood.
It's amazing how detailed it gets across the whole body. You mentioned skin, eyes, ears. The text mentions the face too, with pimples and pustules, and even the throat, like in the last stage of ulcerated sore throat with discharge of yellow matter. What does this level of observation tell us about their approach back then?
I mean, it really speaks volumes about how meticulous they were, or at least aimed to be. Boericke's text shows this almost, well, forensic level of attention to detail. It's not just the discharge's color and consistency, but also the symptoms that go with it. For example, the tongue description, flabby, resembling a layer of dried clay with a yellow coating at the base.
Dried clay, huh? That's specific.
Exactly. It goes beyond just the obvious discharge, capturing the whole symptom picture.
And it doesn't stop there,
Right.
right? It goes deeper into internal systems. I saw mentions of the digestive tract, like purulent diarrhea mixed with blood, and even the respiratory system, things like cough with purulent insanious sputa. That's cough with pus and blood-tinged phlegm, and even really serious stuff like empyema, which is pus inside the lungs or nearby cavities. It really takes that specific discharge idea deep inside the body.
It does. And what's really insightful is the methodology behind it. It's not just what they saw, but the precision. Even seemingly unrelated, unique details like burning, itching of the soles of the feet are noted alongside these purulent conditions. It suggests a very holistic way of mapping symptoms, way beyond just a simple diagnosis.
Okay, so if we were to boil it down, the main takeaway for Calcarea sulphurica and Boericke's work is this really deep connection to yellow, pus-filled discharges and conditions across different body systems.
Precisely. That's the essence of it. It's a remedy truly characterized by that yellow, thick, often lumpy pus. And that's observed consistently, whether it's a surface skin problem, a specific eye infection, or even pus forming deep inside the lungs.
And those really unique details, like the burning, itching soles or the dried clay tongue, they're great examples of just how intricate these observations were within this homeopathic system. It's about the specific nature of the discharge, yes, but also the whole constellation of symptoms around it.
Right. And this brings up a really interesting point for you, the listener, to think about. How does this kind of incredibly precise, detailed mapping of symptoms like we see for Calcarea sulphurica, how does that challenge or maybe expand our modern views on how substances interact with the body? What might it suggest about the meticulousness of medical observation historically, even within frameworks different from our own? And maybe what's the value in looking at those tiny details to understand the bigger picture?
It's a great question to ponder. It really highlights the depth you can find in these specialized texts, and how sometimes observing the smallest things can paint an incredibly specific picture of health or, well, ill health. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.